What's up, guys? This is the Gospel According to Mark with a C. He is I, and I am he. Just taking some time to tell you exactly what's on my mind. Thank you for joining me once again, my friends. I hope all is well with you. And, guys, right off the top, as always, I invite you to hit the like button and also make sure that you remain subscribed so that YouTube may see that people actually kind of like me out there. And also, if you want to, you can contribute to the channel through the Super Thanks feature on each and every one of my videos. Thank you to all who have given. I really do appreciate you. I appreciate you all for being here. Now, listen, let's dive into the topic of the video. Guys, as many of you might be aware, we have a big release this summer, and that would be James Gunn's Superman. Yes, as I'm recording this video, the major release is tomorrow. I'm recording this video today on a Thursday, but many of you have already seen this early screenings and such, and it seems that we have a breakout star, and it's not Crypto. Well, maybe it is Crypto, but the one that I'm talking about here is Mr. Terrific. I keep hearing the name Mr. Terrific, Mr. Terrific. And it just made me a little bit curious because, guys, some of you might have noticed Mr. Terrific is black. Yes, he's black. And it shouldn't be that notable, on the face of it, no pun intended. But the reason why I want to bring this up is because you're dealing here with the DCU, okay? And what I'm used to is dealing with Disney's MCU and, certain other properties and things like that. And I'm kind of watching the way this progresses because what we're used to is a marketing campaign. As you guys know, I've been talking about this whole twisted up Ironheart thing. We're used to a marketing campaign, whereas wherever you see a black face, there always has to be some bold declaration about it. There always has to be some, something, an ultimatum almost is put out there. Either you love this character or you're going to get called a racist. You're going to get called a coon. The character is going to get discontinued and you might not see any more ever. Remember when they tried to run with that? Either you support this character or you may never see black characters on screen again. You know what I mean? So this is the type of marketing that we used to. It's almost like, I don't know, social terrorism in a way. We're going to hold these characters hostage until you respond to them the way we want you to, and we control the narrative. You don't love him enough. They'll tell you that, or you don't love her enough. They'll tell you that type of thing. So this Mr. Terrific character, all right, very interesting, right? So I said to myself, you know what? Let me see what's being said about Mr. Terrific, because normally by now you would be hearing these things, right? So it seems everyone's quiet about this in terms of, well, it's a black character and you got to prepare yourself for the racists in this space. Just get ready for it. Let's see what's being said about this. All right. Now, I want to go on and look on X, for example, right, which is my personal petri dish, right? I do a lot of social experiments off of what I see on X, right? So I went in and I searched Mr. Terrific, just to see what's being said about this. So let's read what I see here. We're doing this in real time, all right? This person says, "You made a new fan out of me. Last time I saw a Terrific was in Arrowverse." And of course, my friend, my brother Damaj and I reminded us on the Dark Council last night that there was another iteration of Mr. Terrific in the CW. And, I'm sure he did a good job, but this is the one we're talking about here in the DCU. So this one person says, "Yeah, you made a new fan out of me. Last time I saw a Terrific was in Arrowverse." Now, this is how you handle a black super genius, by the way. Funky. I like it. I like it. Wow. I might use that in my thumbnail. After witnessing Edie Galegi's show stopping performance as Mr. Terrific and Metamorpho's cool use of abilities, I need to see a Terrific's project, whether it's a show or film, live action, or animated. And of course, I've been hearing about that. I've been hearing that people are saying this guy is a breakout star and they would want to see him in his own project, in his own movie. That's pretty exciting when you really think about it. Whether he's black or not, it's like, that's a triumph. That's a win for the Gunverse if one of these characters have that ability to break out. Tech geniuses in movies don't always have to be white. I seriously love Mr. Terrific in the DCU and, oh my God, Ironheart in the MCU. They both killed it this year. That's not helping me to make my point. But of course, this person is entitled to feel how they feel about it. They like what they're seeing and that's cool. There's nothing wrong with that. Mr. Terrific is the coolest guy I've seen in my life. This person is saying. All right, the ideal Mr. Terrific would sound like this, and I'm not going to play that right now. Okay, well, let me see if I can.
Hey, Mr. Kramer, this is Langston from Regal View. I didn't catch you at the wrong time, did I? Hey.
Okay, I don't get it. This is far and away the best iteration of Mr. Terrific. He's great and a real scene stealer in Superman. I can't, by the way, guys, I haven't seen this yet. I won't be able to see it till this weekend. So it actually makes me excited to see this, which is something that hasn't happened with me in a long time. Oh, look, it's Chillmonger. What up, brother? My brother. There are two issues on comic shop shelves of Mr. Terrific this year. DC timed this well. The next issue releases July 23rd. Thank you, Chill. Like, Chill is always there to like support what should be supported. You know what I mean? Like, he always like hips me to like new projects and things like that that might be of interest. And thanks, Chill. Shout out to Chillmonger. Go check him out. Chillmonger has a great YouTube channel. He's informative, he's insightful, he's even funny. You know what I mean? Like he's got it all. Chillmonger, check him out. I'm genuinely so obsessed with him, man. So well cast and performed, so well categorized, so effing cool. I want 10 Mr. Terrific movies, dude. Wow. Okay. Well, I'm not going to spend too much time here because I do got to get to work. This is how I'm doing it these days, by the way. I try to squeeze this in before work. So, as you can see, Mr. Terrific is going over quite well, guys. And let's read a little bit of who Mr. Terrific is, because if you're like me, not really familiar with this character. So let's go over to Wikipedia. And it says Mr. Terrific, comic book character, is the name of two superheroes in the DC Comics universe. There's a Golden Age hero, Terry Sloan, who was a millionaire with a photographic memory and athletic skills who became the superhero after rescuing a woman from suicide. He formed the Fair Play Club to combat juvenile delinquency and was a member of the Justice Society of America. He was killed in a 1979 story. Wow. Interesting. All right. The second Mr. Terrific, which is the one I think we're getting now, debuted in 1997. Michael Holt was inspired by Sloan's story. Also highly skilled and intelligent, Holt invented the T-Spear, a versatile device controlled by his mask and earpieces. He served in the Justice Society of America and had a short-lived standalone comic series, The Mr. Terrific Concept, was also adapted into other versions and storylines. And of course, it reminds us here, like I said, Edi Galedgi will play Michael Holt, Mr. Terrific, in the DCU. All right, let's just scroll down here. It says, in 1997, the mantle of Mr. Terrific was passed on to Michael Holt, an equally talented man who holds 5 black belts. He's won the Olympic decathlon and holds many degrees and doctorates in a wide spectrum of fields. While contemplating suicide after the accidental death of his wife and unborn child, he was met by the Spectre, who told him about Terry Sloan. Inspired by Sloan's life story, he took the name Mr. Terrific and later joined the current Justice Society of America, eventually serving as its chairman. He's the inventor of the T-Spear, an artificially intelligent miniature device that he controls with his mask and earpieces. The T-Spear can fly, create holographic images, project beams of light, release electrical charges, hack into computers and GPS satellites, and constantly cloaks Holt against detection and the recording of his image by any and all technological, non-organic means, making him virtually invisible to everything but the human line of sight. In the past, he has used them for reconnaissance, infiltration, espionage, and information retrieval and storage, often multitasking his T-Spears to all go off on different tasks all at once. Okay, so I guess like I'm not going to read the whole thing here, but this is important too. He's also considered the third smartest man alive. The third smartest man alive. Now, you guys, I mean, obviously there's a story here, you know what I mean? And I would love to see them actually expand on this. I agree with some of the fans. I think that there's enough material and substance here to actually have this be a breakout star. Now I just want to show you guys one more thing here before I make another commentary. This is what the star Galecki has to say about his character that he's playing, Mr. Terrific. He says, Superman thinks Mr. Terrific is his BFF. It's not true. He thinks he's a herb. If you don't know what a herb is, you may be one. They are brothers in fighting crime, they are brothers in being heroes, but they don't have a lot in common. You all know Superman. He's a Boy Scout. He's the embodiment of good. Our version of Mr. Terrific is a little bit more complex in the sense that he's battling other demons that pepper out. So he's a little grumpy. Okay, that's cool. I mean, that's almost Superman's relationship with Batman. You know, Superman is a Boy Scout. He sometimes annoys Batman because Batman, of course, stands for a life that's a lot more complex, you know, so he thinks that Superman is a bit simple in his understanding of the way things work, which is a great dynamic considering that Superman is not technically from this planet. So he's allowed to be a little naive, a little bit curious. You know, think Data from the Next Generation, you know, Star Trek and everything, kind of boyish, you know, that type of thing. But Superman, of course, taps into humanity a little bit better than Data. But I'm just saying. So that's what you have going on with Mr. Terrific. And I can't help but wonder, guys, is this our indirect recasting of T'Challa when you think about it? Now, keep in mind, before you get upset with me, I said indirect in terms of the movie that could be around this character. All right. It could be something of a cultural phenomenon. It could be the right story, the right character at the right time. Okay. He's not exactly some super recognizable DC hero that everyone has known for decades, but the way he was received is almost comparable to the way T'Challa made his big screen entrance in Captain America Civil War. You know, when you really think about it, now you have all of these people who are recognizing the character as a character of substance, a character of potential. And as you can see, you don't have a whole lot of, well, he's black, and you don't have a whole lot of the so-called racists that come out in the fandom and everything that unfortunately get way, way too much exposure. You know, you don't have that going on. You know, the ones who have foolishly decided that the way to push back on the industry's misuse of black characters is to attack black people themselves, is to clown black people themselves. I can't tell you how disappointing that is. You know, that people have decided to run with that, but they're not, thankfully, indicative of the whole of fandom. You know what I mean? The fandom is still what it is. It's like you got little niches here and cliques over here, and what they do is what they do, and that's cool. You know, maybe they'll come back around. But right now, you're skirting with irrelevancy by doing that. You know, so we choose to focus more on the potential. You know, the positive potential of these things. And guys, I have to say, right now, the prospects going forward for Mr. Terrific are looking pretty terrific. Okay, like I'll be able to judge for myself on Sunday when I go see this, and that's my plan anyway, to see it on Sunday. But guys, anyway, have you seen Superman? What do you think of this character of Mr. Terrific? I mean, now we're just breaking down characters, like I said, regardless of how you might feel about the movie, because as usual, we have this polarization going on, this divide. Either you're going to love this movie or you're going to hate this movie, or you might be somewhere in the middle. But the character, Mr. Terrific, if you've seen the movie, what do you think about this character? Breakout? We're thinking potential. Get in the comment section. Let me know. As always, once again, you can like, you can share, and you can subscribe. Make sure you remain subscribed. If you want to contribute to the channel, please feel free to do so. The super thanks feature down below. And guys, I appreciate you being here as always. And I will catch you on the next one. Thank you for listening. This is the Gospel According to Mark with a C. Rock on.